I want to talk to you about what's been happening in Israel. Israel's Supreme Court has ruled unanimously that ultra-Orthodox seminary students must be drafted into the military. So this ends their long-standing exemptions after a legal arrangement allowing the practice expired. Look, I was just in Israel and this was a big sticking point for people there while everyone else had to watch their brother and sister, their daughter, their son go off to war. What's your assessment of this decision?
Well, these are long-standing issues, and of course, besides the ultra-Orthodox, the 21% of the Israeli population that are Israeli Arabs are also not required to serve, but nobody's making an issue out of that. Some do serve, actually, many of them do serve, but much of the 21% of the Arab Israeli population of Israel is not required to serve in the army. And the ultra Orthodox Jews are not required to serve in the army. And their argument is twofold. One argument is that if they were exposed to the army, they'd be exposed to, uh, you know, people of the opposite sex, because of course both men and women, boys and girls, serve in the Israeli army. They'd be exposed to members of the opposite sex or same sex, whatever, and music and dancing and alcohol and all the things they're not supposed to do, which would take away from their religious Torah studies. And the other argument, of course, on the part of these ultra Orthodox, terribly religious people, is that Israel is alive and what it is today because of the devotion of these people to constant study of the Torah, the holy scriptures, and that mustn't be interrupted with it. I don't think many Israelis would disagree with that part, but it is getting sort of tense, and it provides a real problem for Netanyahu because he's got two factions of his coalition who are these ultra Orthodox sects. So it's raised its head by this Supreme Court judgment ruling right in the middle of the negotiations to draft a new bill. The conscription bill has expired, and they were going to come up with a new bill which solved this problem. But before they could, the court issued this ruling, has thrown it all into disarray, and put pressure on Netanyahu, made it very difficult to hold his coalition together. So I don't know how it's going to turn out, but the real issue is the military needs more people.
Yeah.
It's got two wars going on, and maybe things need to change. That's the attitude.
I want to ask you about Julian Assange. He has arrived home in Australia for the first time in 15 years. What does his future look like? Are we going to see more secrets being exposed?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been on a lot of programs about Julian Assange. I mean, first of all, I'm pleased that he was freed. The poor guy has suffered enough. Good grief. And the big debate is, will he go back to leaking and publishing information? I mean, I think given the politicians we were just talking about and all the scandal and skullduggery and criminal behavior and everything else going on, I mean, we certainly could use some leaks, Gabriella. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether he'll settle in Australia and get active again. I have a feeling from the followers of his that I've come across on various television programs that they're going to push him to do exactly that. Whether he's up for that with the health problems he's had and the years and the fact that he's now past his sell-by date as a leaker, as a publisher, but I mean, he could get right back into it tomorrow morning, I'm sure. And we could use some exposure because when he leaked, I don't think there was stuff going on in our political leaders as there is now.
Interesting point. Well, we'll have to watch this space very closely. We are less than 24 hours away from the first US presidential debate, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Have you got the popcorn ready? Are you excited? Is it going to be a disappointment? What's your assessment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on some very big programs, on some very big networks, minutes after the debate ends, talking about it tomorrow, Friday morning. And I've got the popcorn. I'm very excited. I'm wondering, Sleepy Joe did hold his own on the State of the Union message, but I just don't know how he's going to hold his own on this debate. Trump has been refining his strategy and his message over the last week or two very carefully, and I mean, it should be quite a show. Now it should certainly put Sunak and Starmer, who were so boring. I mean, my wife was sitting there screaming, "Enough already! Shut up!" It should put them to shame, and it should be very interesting. I don't know who will win. I would imagine Trump, but and then of course, a lot of commentators have said that if Joe does have what they call the quote senior moment unquote, that could be a huge game changer.
Yeah, well, he's had a few senior moments and it doesn't appear to be a game changer yet. We just keep seeing the one repeat, but we'll see if it makes any difference now that he's on a debate stage with Donald Trump. But Dr. Roger Gewolf, great to speak with you.
You too. Thank you, Gabriella.
Thank you.